electronic show, so that included everything electronic, but it had a very specialized section for audio. We started participating in all these shows and slowly got the brand and the word to get known. We got a lot of technical journalists to come and visit us. We used to go and meet them, we used to talk to them, demonstrate to them, play the products for them. And that's how we got them to review and write up about our products. And that's how we slowly started, trying to build the brand up. Challenging, but something that took the best part of maybe 15 years. So the perseverance that was required, that, okay, doesn't matter, a year gone by, another year gone by, a decade gone by, we still stood with it because we believed in it.
Related question, how long did it take you to break even? Because you would have had tremendous upfront expenses, right?
20,
including marketing.
20 years.
Oh.
That's what deep pockets can do.
So did you consider going the OEM route, getting somebody else to brand and?
Yeah, we did consider that, but that was a kind of, you must have grown, there's a very big loudspeaker company from England, which has now grown big over the last 15 years. Again, it was a very high quality, focused, family-owned business, which got a big venture capitalist to invest in it, a couple of these companies called Bowers and Wilkins, or it's called B&W. And they sort of used to make an electrostatic loudspeaker for a very short period in the 70s. And then they saw this, and they came to us and said that how much would you charge to sell this whole concept and the technology? Because these developments were patented. We held about 4 patents on these. So at that time, again, I said, the youth or whatever, I said, how much would it cost me to buy your company? I sent them back. So we didn't want to let it go because it was our baby. There was so much passion involved in it. There was so much. We saw that yes, maybe this could become a big thing, and we could just hand it over to them, and they would make something big out of it because they were already established. But for us, this was our baby. This was our creation. So, I hope I've answered your question.
Maybe just to take on from what he said, do you have sufficient data points to figure out what's the total business that one can get in the next whatever time frame?
See, like I told you, we are not looking at the sales line at all. We are today where we are, about 6-7 million euros, and we don't want to grow in turnover. The good thing about these businesses is that the margins are good. It's a small volume, high margin business, and we intend to keep it that way. Because the moment a company, we have chosen a track. We have said that we will make the best products, we will sell them at our price, and that is what enables us to survive. A lot of such companies went and I think lost the road and said that let's grow. The moment you say that we'll grow, then you get into the rat race. Then you say, okay, growth, the first limitation is your price. So let's make cheaper products. Let's make products which are going to go to a wider audience. That starts the race. And then you have to produce more. The margins start thinning. Then you start competing with the Sonys of the world. And eventually you might have to be asked to sell a speaker for $6 over the internet, which is not our game. It's not our product. So we are focused, and we're not much bothered about our growth in sales, or although we do see a growth in sales. To answer your question very specifically, the growth is about between 3 to 4%. That's all in sales.
But you don't think it's possible to position 2 different brands and achieve best of both the worlds? Is that possible at all?
Yeah, that is, we have actually done that to some extent, because from the British company that we acquired, that was a company that focuses on relatively moderate or even low price products, delivering excellent value. This company has a very beautiful history for those of you would want to be interested in. This company was started by a technocrat called Spencer Hughes. Again, a very highly, no industrial background or no industry background is such, no big family or anything. In the mid 70s, the late 60s, the British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC, wanted someone to design studio monitors of high quality. And they invited engineers to present designs. So Spencer Hughes was a very great loudspeaker designer, and he designed a loudspeaker which today, even 45 years later, is still in production. And he won the rights along with 2 other companies to make BBC monitors for all the BBC studios worldwide. And this company then went on, the BBC also allowed them to produce those loudspeakers for the market, which they produced and marketed under the name of Spendor. That's a very old established, for the people who know, Spendor is a well-known brand in the lower price segment. Spendor coming from Spencer and his wife Dorothy, so the Spen and the Dor. And that's a product which offers extremely good quality, different sizes of loudspeakers, starting right from a very small bookshelf to a large loudspeaker, starting from, let's say, £1,000 retail to about £7,000-8,000 retail.
Actually, have you now we are in a stage wherein have you looked into Indian market? Because let's say we are a made in India brand, and probably we should also market that into within India, right? And,
Yeah, we should.
Yeah. So the one thing which immediately comes to my mind is we are in Pune, right? And Savai Gandharva, this I would say Makkah of music happens in Pune. So have you also thought of that kind of a plan wherein we have a good product, we know, right? You already have convinced yourself, and you also already selling that abroad, right? So it's the best thing to sell this particular, at least market this particular product in this kind of shows wherein there are a lot of music lovers comes to genuine music lovers which come to this kind of a gathering, right? Or let's say NCPA or other avenues wherein there are genuine music lovers comes, and wherein you can put that particular across, and then definitely we'll be proud of this kind of a made in India brand, which definitely can be sold abroad as well, right? But India is also base, right?
Yeah, India is going to grow into a marketplace,
Right,
which
right.
we are completely aware of that.
Right.
But for that to happen, I think it's a very gradual process.
Yeah, it's an education.
It's an education process, and that's why we have started a retail wing.
Right.
You know, that's the. Your point is very well made about Savai Gandharva and
Right,
all this.
right.
But we can't use our products there.
Okay.
Because those are essentially PA products, public address products, because you have an open ground or you have a very large auditorium.
Right.
So these loudspeakers and these products are basically for the home segment.
Okay.
So they don't work. They're not even designed for a PA system. But yes, we can promote them there. We can
Right.
project
Right.
them there. But the whole buying process of audio has gone a lot of transformation over the years,
Right.
and market segments have been blurred.
Right.
You know, and that always happens in underdeveloped, uninitiated markets.
Right.
The classic example that I always give is that when India opened up the market, you know, the Opel was one of the first cars that was launched in India as a premium luxury car. Now, that is murder, and you're getting away with it because the people have not known any better. That was essentially a car that was directed at the taxi market in the rest of the world,
Right.
and was brought into this country as a high quality. Very much the same thing has happened in the audio space,
Right.
and therefore, in an audience or a customer base which doesn't have access to information. Now, slowly that has changed because of internet. Everybody who wants to buy something goes and Googles, checks out and so on. But you will be surprised that even today, there is not a single high quality magazine that reviews products in India. There's just one magazine which does it. So they again have their own monopoly position. They choose what to do and what not to do.
Right.
So the process of bringing this is rather by making the people aware, and therefore we have